Hello and welcome to a new episode of Cultural Magazine. We have a lot in store for you this episode, so stay tuned. We're here right now at the Cairo Opera House, a cultural hub of arts that brings in all forms of arts together, such as dance, music, and singing, including ballet and plays as well, here at the Opera House to entertain and better culture the Egyptian public. Let's find out more about what the Cairo Opera House has in store for us.
The Cairo Opera House recently held a performance by the Egyptian Harpists Ensemble led by harpist Dr. Manal Muhyiddin, combining their talents in a dazzling show. Joined by the Oriental Ensemble, the harpists performed a selection of Arabic music composed for the harp.
Today we have a concert called Egyptian Harp Ensemble. We play 6 harps together, sometimes 2, sometimes 3, sometimes 4, but the main it's 6 harps together. This is like, let's say 10 years ago we tried to play together on and off, but since 5 years we make almost every year like 2 concerts. So, we start with 3 harps, 4 harps. Now we are 11 harpists together, but we play, of course, 6 harps, and then we switch off, depends who play who. But together we are 11 harpists as an Egyptian harp ensemble. It's not a popular instrument, but it's very unique instrument, I have to say. Harp, it's very old, ancient instrument. Come originally from the Egyptian civilization, old Egyptian civilization, pharaonic civilization, and you see this on the temple, very often in Luxor, in Saqqara, it was very important instrument at that time. And the people at that time they played for the religion things, I mean, in the temple, it's one of the unique instrument in Europe in the, let's say, 17th century. It became one of the important instruments, especially in the Ireland and in the England and in the Wales, in this area. And then after it, of course, it's now one of the important instruments in the orchestra, and it has different repertoire. You play solo and you play with another instrument like flute, like violin, and like today we play together as an ensemble. It's quite famous in Europe that you find the harpists play together. So, and I think the people like it. We have most of the time full house. It's an instrument like any instrument. It's like piano, or it's like qanun in our Arabic music. It's very similar to this instruments. And if you write good notes and right notes for this instrument, and it can be played. It's like any instrument. It depends on who writes this music and who understand about the harp, how it can be played beautifully, and which melody and which technique can be played on this instrument. It depends on who write it, who composed. We teach children in the conservatoire to become professional harpists. It can be popular, but the main problem for the instrument, it's very expensive. It's very expensive instrument, and it's not, you can't buy it here in Egypt. You have to buy it from abroad, from Europe, from America. So this is the main problem, that not everyone can afford to buy it, and you don't find it in anywhere. I mean, you find piano in the school. Normally in schools there is a piano. There is in many families they have a piano, heritage from the grandmother or like that. So you find the piano at home. So, but harp, it's no, it's not popular. You don't find it anywhere, even in every theater. So we have harps here only in the opera here in Cairo. Of course, opera, it has two orchestras. It has Cairo Symphony Orchestra, it has Cairo Opera Orchestra, and both orchestras has harpists to play in it. And of course, many harpists, they have concerts, like 2-3 concerts a year, so they show what they can. And of course, the opera support as she can. Like today, they give us an opportunity to play this together as Egyptian Harp Ensemble. They provided the harps, which is a very expensive instrument. Not all of us has his own harp, and they provide already 5 harps. And I bring my own. So, of course, they support us.
this ancient musical instrument, Egyptian harpists, revive its heritage in modern enchanting melodies that create a lively mood at the Opera House. This is Sabir Gindi for the Cultural Magazine.
You're still watching Cultural Magazine. Hope you're enjoying the episode so far, but we still have a lot in store for you in this episode, so stay tuned.
The Cairo Opera Company, under the supervision of its artistic director, Dr. Tahiyya Shamsuddin, opened its new artistic season 2023-2024 with the world's famous opera, The Magic Flute, by the great Austrian musician Mozart, directed by Hisham Al-Talli, and with the participation of the Cairo Opera Orchestra, led by Maestro Ahmad Farag, and the Cairo Opera Choir, coached by Mina Hanna.
It's The Magic Flute is actually one of the operas in the repertoire for the Cairo Company. They do it since the beginning of the opera here in Cairo, I guess. And always there was a production for this, and this year I guess they changed it a little bit, the production, the decor, the mise en scène and everything. Mozart is always different because it's not as modern as Verdi, for example, or Puccini for the operatic composers. Mozart is quite simple than them, and the stories, of course, also a little bit simple. And I guess the Egyptian audience like this kind of stories and this kind of operas. Most of the rehearsals done by the director of the opera. The director, his name is Hisham Al-Talli, and he worked a lot for the mise en scène, for the movements on stage, and of course for the dialogues. Of course, for music, it's me, but the collaboration between me and him, it was before the general rehearsals with the singers and the mise en scène and the movements. Of course, I had to sign in my partitura the dialogue and everything, and with which phrase I have to start the music or to finish the music. So all this kind of stuff was already prepared with him before the rehearsals. This is quite funny that Mozart chose Egypt as the place of the opera, but actually it's a fantasy. He of course, chose the story of the war between the natural power and the good power against the bad power of the night, of the queen of the night. So he chose Isis and Osiris as the symbol of the good gods of love and nature. So it's a funny that he chooses Egypt for this, but actually the story, it doesn't contain something really big about Egypt, but only the symbol of Isis and Osiris. Mozart in his period was very special. He's a genius as a composer. Of course, at this time, all the composers had to conduct their music and play it even. So that was necessary and that was normal at this time. But of course, this time, in this period, it's not very necessary that the composer conduct their works. Sometimes they are not able to do it. So fortunately, they have us as a conductors who don't have the talent to compose. So we can understand more what he wrote, and we try to transmit it to the orchestra and to the singers, and to have the interpretation that the composers like. For me, I guess the opera and ballet. I really enjoy it because there is a combination always between the orchestra and the singers and the drama, or between the orchestra and the drama with the ballet and dancers. All this experience, it's interesting because it's never the same. It's exactly like the theater. You will never find the same concert as the one before or after. So it's always nice and passionate to work with singers and with the drama. This is really passion for me.
So the magic flute, of course, for Mozart, it's one of the most magical and hardest operas to achieve. It's technically and musically, it's very, very, very difficult. From the smallest role to the biggest role, everything needs to be neat. It needs to be studied very well. It needs to be practiced not for days, actually for months. And that's exactly what we did. We practiced for almost like, I think, from 2 to 3 months. The mise en scène, the music, the text, everything. And hopefully today the audience is going to enjoy our work. I'm participating in the role as the Drei Knabe, the 3 genies, to make it much more simpler for the audience to understand. They're the kind thing in the opera. They're the nicest thing in the opera. They guide Tamino throughout the opera from the beginning till the ending. They actually, whenever they appear on stage, it's like the atmosphere changes, you know? It's like people feel happy, they feel nice energy, and this is very hard to achieve, actually, that we want to, the character, we want the character to appear to the people the right way. So this was very hard to achieve, and hopefully we're going to achieve it today. This opera has very, very, very difficult sides. One of them are the dialogues, of course. The Drei Knaben, which is my role, they don't have any dialogue in the opera, or in this edition of the opera. In other editions, they have. It's written for them a dialogue, but like we shifted things a bit here, but each and every other character has their own dialogues, and actually it's very funny. I think the dialogues adds more to the performance. Queen of the Night, it's a role that not each and every singer can sing this role. It needs like specific techniques, specific things in the voice to achieve. Hopefully I'm gonna like go through a lot of roles in this opera. I'm not targeting a specific role. I wanna like experience each and every character. I hope so.
Opening the new opera season with Mozart's masterpiece, The Magic Flute, gained the appreciation of the opera lovers, enjoying a night by professional soloists, choir, musicians, directors, and conductor in a dazzling rich performance. Shuru Bikir, Cultural Magazine.
An important and integral part of the Egyptian heritage is our culture. Culture is so important and integrated into every Egyptian mindset. This includes the written word, it includes music, and it includes the folkloric dances and sayings as well. Let's find out more about how we preserve our heritage and more about our culture.
As part of the series of artistic concerts organized by the Cairo Opera House on its various stages to revive the artistic heritage of the stars and pioneers of Arabic music and singing in Egypt and the Arab world, the Arab Heritage Music Ensemble presented its first concert in the new season 2023-24 on the Arab Music Institute stage, led by Maestro Farouk al-Babli. The ensemble performed Taktuka music, then Amwashih, called Ya Bahgit al-Ruh, or The Joy of the Soul. It was followed by songs by young pioneers of the fine art era, which they sang to the tunes of great musicians. Among these songs are Our Dear Great Home, Ya Beit al-Izz Ya Bitna, Oh My Handsome One, Yasmar Yasmarani, The Story of a Lifetime, or Hikayat al-Umr Kullu, and many more songs. These songs are sung by stars of the Arab Heritage Music Ensemble, including Hadir Youssef, Hanan Assam, Radwa Saeed, Mazen Diraz, Yasser Sulaiman, Ahmed Mohsin, Noha Hafiz, and Asma Kamal. It is noteworthy that the Arab Heritage Music Ensemble was established with the aim of reviving the heritage of Arab music and presenting the various heritage forms, lyrical and musical genres to the audience, such as the muwashah, the poem, the taktuka, the monologue, and theatrical melodies through a group of the most skilled musicians and distinguished voices with high-end performances. On the collective and individual levels, the ensemble presented its first concert on the Arab Music Institute stage in 2004, after which its artistic activity continued and achieved a large fan base in Egypt and the Arab world.
This brings us to the end of this episode of Cultural Magazine. Hope you enjoyed it, and stay tuned for more here on Nile TV.